Barebones Broadcasting, Northwest South Building. You know, as a benevolent dictator, I'm interested in benevolence. I'm a benevolent dictator. I'm also a radio broadcast host. Only I happen to be a benevolent dictator as a citizen. And all citizens are benevolent dictators. And the key word is benevolence, and you have no influence to hurt anyone as a benevolent dictator, of course. Dictators that are benevolent don't use any extortion in any way, shape, or form. They have to use their heart and their wits and their conscience to dictate and cause contribution and advocate. They basically cause advocate because of their benevolence. They cause advocate every time they suggest something. That's a benevolent dictator. Now, I'm always interested in subjects like that, and there was an interesting one brewing in Portland, Oregon with the mayor, Sam Adams, and he is standing up for the ambiency of benevolence. And I find that marvelous. And I like that, and I want to ask you if you think he has the right to, as a mayor of a city, to declare dominance over the influence, over the priorities of hiring employees for the city, referring to the ambiency of benevolence as the reference versus an individual's right. And in this case, a police officer that was part of bludgeoning a man to death on the street, if I have the right case right. I'm sorry, I said, anyway, he was part of a very malicious murdering of a human being, a very failure in procedure of training, no matter what the procedure training is, and no matter how he complied, that procedure itself is what is in question here. And as an electrician, I want to remind you something. If I'm taught a procedure, if I'm aware of a procedure, if I'm aware of anything on a print, or any information that instructs me by order to do something that I know is going to be detrimental to anyone's living or comfort in any way, I, by oath, am not permitted to install that and or influence you that way at all. The main thing I have pledged to is a safety agent. Now, I know more about that than a police officer. I know more about that than God. I know more about that than a Supreme Court justice or judge. I know more about that than any murderer or any hero or anyone. I know more as an electrician. And I have to have the gumption to tell my boss to go straight to hell. I don't care what he says or when I am instructed or come around anything that is detrimental to you, I am not allowed to participate in any kind of a plot or personal thing. I'm not allowed to bring my personality to work, anything like that at all. When I come to work, I leave me somewhere else. And I come as an agent of safety for you. Only. Until I go home or whatever. And at home, I am to refer to that too. By the way I live my life as an electrician. Now that's the code I was taught by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. It really is the code. They mostly were, well, they had a lot of World War II vets and that influence. Still, when I came through, the echo was still around, and especially in the atmosphere that I was raised at town. And I learned to study, learned to be an electrician at a police officer's desk. I better upload this. I had too long to upload. If it's got any interest in it, it'll be too long to upload. Wah, wah, wah. Gross thing I ever saw in my life.